Welcome to the stream. Let me adjust my camera. Like so. Sorry I was a bit late. For those who are new here, welcome. My name is Layla. I really hope you can hear me well. I'm a streamer here, and today we'll be working on this goblin sculpt that we started last stream 2 weeks ago. The concept is right up here. It's by Miro Petrov. Really cool guy. You can find him on ArtStation. But yeah, let me know if you can hear the music and me well, and then we'll get into it. I think I showed it last time, but I put up a reference board. I'll show it again. If you guys want to follow along or you started with me last time, you're welcome to continue working on it as I do. Here are some references that I found. So that's obviously the concept, and found some scars for the lip. Some cool alien-y like folds. Then chip and folds of the mouth area. Really cool. Some orcs, some old men, some handmade like cosplay leather for his hat. So yeah. Jay, Travis, Amir, Irados, and Prashant. Hello. Hello everyone. Hey. What should we start working on now? Let me load up the texture and the camera. I believe I saved it last time. Yes. So let's take a look at it with fresh eyes. I'm so keen to add poly paint on it, but I'm trying a different workflow where I try to sculpt it as much as I can in gray and then add poly paint. I'd say getting there. Also, I'm trying something new because I usually make stylized, cute sculpts, and this one is different. He is hella cute though. Taking music. Bluebird Gaming, hello, how are you? I'm great, thank you. How are you? And that's nice work, thank you. Every hardworking person has a share. Hardworking person has a share. Yep. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay. Yeah, so we need to add some lever folds in there. Not that it's top priority because it's still missing quite a few things. It's just one way to show you, because I know I struggled with it as a beginner, is where to place folds and where to find reference for certain folds. Because what I'd see in like beginner sculpts is a good character, and then it gets to the clothing and the overall mass makes sense, but then the folds are kind of like all over the place. So this, like the, how would I explain it, like the pinching folds would be on like open flat areas, you know, where they wouldn't necessarily form and stuff like that. So let me show you. Here I've got this snapshot of a 3D sculpt of like a leather piece scrunching. So maybe it's like some sort of armor piece from the elbow area or something like that. So this sort of fold would work here, just because kind of the pressure and the tension is very similar. So I think I'm gonna use it here. I'm fine. Oh, that's great. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, how high res is this? Let's save. Brush Z project. And then brush input. I just didn't want it to clip for the surface. Now maybe let's add an edge loop, one edge loop without any polish all around. You can do it by going to edge loop, grip loops, setting it to 1 and polish to 0, and it creates like a even border poly grip. Now we can drop down the support edge loop. It's for those working in VFX, animation, cinematic industry. You know what I'm talking about. For game models, I wouldn't do that. Well, it depends. I might do it on the sculpt stage, but then I wouldn't add it for actual topology in games. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. Oh yeah, I recently finished the personal piece, so I'll show you guys later, because I'm pretty proud of it. It was a long project that I started on this channel last year, and I was working on it and chipping away at it at every opportunity that I got, just because I work full-time. Yeah, it's finally I want to say finished and finally, so it was finalished. I finally finished it. Brush. I wanted to get the fluff brush. This brush is by Shane Olson, I believe. He runs a 3D character workshop and he also streams here. He's an awesome guy. You can get these brushes for free. I personally use a couple of them, like cloth, nothing like insert IMM. Yeah, I think that's it. Maybe some more that I'm not seeing. How to create hands and legs for stylized characters? Any tips and tricks? Yes, great question. So I would start with a thing called blockout. You might be familiar with it. Just as we block out the character, like the main proportions, the head, the torso, the neck, like the shoulders, hands, it's kind of like a big primary shape blockout, right? So when you get to the hands, it becomes more of a secondary blockout, you know, so the details get smaller, but it's still a blockout. So what I would suggest is, first of all, find reference of what you want to achieve. So go on ArtStation and look through stylized characters that you like. You can save them into a separate folder. ArtStation lets you do that. And then put them in your pure reference board, analyze them, like what kind of hands do you want to have? Because there are so many different variations of stylized hand. There are stubby ones, there are long, sharp ones for like, you know, stylized vampire ladies or something like that. So you need to define the style first, and then, yeah, blocking out from cylinders. So, yeah, let me show you. Yeah. I just googled stylized hand blockout ZBrush, and as you can see, it's just exactly what I meant. Some will be more stylized than others, so you can see they splitted each finger into two main parts. Some of them go as far as blocking out every single part, plus like the pads and stuff. So yeah, totally depends on what you want to achieve. Some of them sell them, but if you really want to master it, I recommend practicing it. I'll just copy and paste it into the chat. I'm not gonna go into detail on it today because our character doesn't have fingers or feet, or like hands or feet. But yeah, I hope that helps. That's how I do it anyway. Just analyze, analyze, analyze. It's all just supposed to be kind of like bunching up here. Huge fan of this border. Oh well. You can also always try something like bulk move. Set the levels to like 3, 2, and then in dynamics firmness to like 4. See what happens. Not too great. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, for sharing your ideas. You're welcome. I definitely recommend, it's a bit off topic, but for you guys to learn hotkeys, because it will speed up your workflow quite a fair bit. I know quite a few professionals don't use them. It's not to say that it's a rule, but I prefer using all of my keyboard. Like with each brush, my brain memorized the kind of like a combo you have to hit. So B for brush, and then like CB being play build up, or B M B M V move brush. It's very helpful. Yeah, I think those folds are clashing with these ones. Will also break symmetry at some point, and I'll get back to it. Yeah, not a huge fan of those folds. How they turned out. That's on me. Maybe it's because they look repetitive. We may only need one. Yeah, that looks better. What are you guys doing at the moment? Are you just chilling with me, or are you sculpting as well? Let me know. I'm always curious to find out what the chat is up to. Get this uneven edge and you want to fix it, just isolate it. Now in deformation you can go to polish and polish it up. Okay, we'll come back to that. Last time I noticed that I completely disregarded the fact that the hat is made from 2 pieces of leather and not 1. So how about we try and fix it? Hello. Hey. Can't move the PureRef window with the drawing tablet pen. I am using a vacuum tablet, so what can I do? Vacuum tablet. Well, there must be a different configuration because I can move around. Then it. Wait, how do I? Oh yeah, right click. What's this one? Yeah, mine doesn't move either. I can go through it though with Alt key down and then just drag. But I always use my mouth. Oh, mouth. I always use my mouse to navigate. But yeah. Sorry, not sure. Maybe it's the Wacom stylus settings. You have to adjust them for this particular software. For PureRef, you know how you can have different settings for different software? Yeah, maybe play around with the right click button, so whichever of the buttons is mapped to that. I can't really help you because A, I don't have audio computer in front of me, and B, I am on Huion tablet. I don't have Wacom tablet. Let's say, yeah, play around with settings and like stylus settings for PureRef. They should be installed on your computer as soon as you install the drivers for Wacom. I hope you installed the drivers. Is it possible to get to New Zealand on a work visa now? For example, relocating a 3D artist to a company in New Zealand. I know New Zealand has open borders, so theoretically, yes, it's possible. I'd say New Zealand doesn't have enough big powerhouses, you know? We have Weta, and if you're applying for Weta, they're big, you know, they have the money to relocate you. And if they want you, they will. But I'd say not every like small 10 to 50 people studio can do that, because that's the average size of studios in New Zealand. They can give you a job and then you can use it to get a work visa. You still have to pay for it though, and then pay for the tickets and for like finding a place to stay, yada yada yada. But yeah, not impossible. Maybe this part will be the top one. Okay, Ctrl W to create a polygroup. You can see it clearer here. Now let's split. Let's duplicate it. Ctrl Shift D on my keyboard, and then select it and delete hidden. I'll explain why I did that in a second. And here I would like to select it, mask it, grow the mask inwards, and then invert it and deflate it. Like so. Yep. Maybe even more. Just so it doesn't interfere with our work. Maybe we could even cut it off at some point here. Bluebird Gaming. Enable use pen as the mouse in Windows. It will 100% work. Oh, here you go. I'm not sure where that setting is, but yeah, might be worth checking out. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay, polished by groups a couple of times, and now we have two separate pieces of geometry. Let's polish this one a little bit. Awesome. The only downside is that we have to move them independently now, but that's okay. Well, this one might be too high res. Yes, it is. Let's try to bring it down. Reason why I'm doing a lot of Z remeshing with the Z remesher guides, I did a lot of it last time, because I want to get good flow, which will ensure that I don't get any like pinching and weird artifacts when I subdivide the model. Basically that I get a smooth sculpt later down the line. I won't spend too much time on it though. Zero measure. This should be fine. It's in window pen settings. Cool. Alright, that's not too bad. How about we retry, but with a lower poly count? So retry actually means that it's still taking into account my first sculpt and those Z remesher guides that I drew. Well, it should anyway. Okay. It's kind of what we need. By hitting 6 on your keyboard, you will smooth out the line that you drew. So let's say I did that. If I hit 6, it will smooth itself out. Well, I don't just hit it, I hit it and then I hold it. Okay, not too bad. A few of the mishaps here. I can fix it. Delete an edge. Made a poly. Split points. Move points. That's odd. Oh well. Cool, fixed it. Anything else I want to fix? No. Doesn't look like it. Awesome, now we have a low poly. Let's do the same thing we did at the beginning of the stream. Geometry, edge loop 1. Cool. If we turn on dynamic, we'll add thickness to it. Let's do the same thing for the bottom one. Maybe we can rely on some polygroups. Oh, yuck. It's actually not too bad, but I might rerun it again with less polygroups. Also, for your information, let's say you got this result from ZBrush, right? And you got this spot that you don't particularly like. Try relaxing it and running it again. What ZBrush usually will try to do, it will analyze, oh, so you relaxed that point or that area. Let me try to like reanalyze it and basically redo it. Okay. Yeah, that's good enough. Same thing here. Edge loop, 1, no polish. And insert 1 extra loop. Here and here. Now if we turn dynamic. Oh. And I think this one should be thicker. Maybe we can inflate it a little bit and then extrude inwards. Like so. Get anything like that, we can fix it by just masking it and then smoothing it. Let's save. Okay. Cool. And this one, oh, let's check. Is it flipped? Yeah, so I have doubled turned on, which is previewing both sides. But because I extruded it inwards, it flipped the normals, so I have to flip them back. You can find it and display properties flip if you ever find yourself in the same situation as me. Now we can extrude it all again, but outward? Should it be outward though? Might be inward as well. And also flip it. And then I want to run an edge or maybe even two. Also. Might be too sharp. One edge should be enough. And then one here, one here. Awesome. If you hold Control and click on the edge with the insert action selected, it will actually delete it for you. I discovered it by accident. Awesome. So we have the base ready for us to sculpt on. Let's just check for any intersections. What I've been wanting to do is fix the inner corner of the eye where the carnuncula is supposed to be. Apparently he doesn't have any carnuncula at all. But I feel like if he was a real life creature, he would have. Because he's quite humanoid. Just realized you guys weren't seeing what I was choosing on the bottom row. Sorry for that. Hi. He would fit into Baldur's Gate. Ah, thank you, that's a compliment. Yeah, he probably would, right? Haven't played the whole game, so no spoilers. But yes, I created my own character and got to the end of Act 1. Really good game. Totally deserved the Game of the Year. Even though I was rooting for Tears of the Kingdom. I like it. To the front a little bit. Do you know Das Studio? No, I don't use it. Is it the one for creating characters? Yeah, that's those generic characters that I see online every now and again. No, I don't use it. Not to say that it's bad, I just prefer to make my own characters. Sorry, I can't translate it. Yeah, I can. Just to dispute Turkish, I don't. So you said, hello sister, I just came to the broadcast and I just saw you. How are you? Oh, great, thank you. No, unfortunately, Turkish is not one of the languages that I speak. Speak Russian and English, and I understand Moldovan or Romanian and a bit of Ukrainian as well. Yeah, I'm a bit happier with that now. Hi from Spain. Hello, Jose. Can we do environment modeling in ZBrush, or is it easy in Maya? You can do it in both. Whatever works for you. You can do environment modeling in ZBrush. You can do whatever you want in ZBrush. Michelle is saying, I'm going to start selling mesh clothes and mesh clothes for Daz. I hope I can make my 3D artist lifestyle more stable for me. Oh, cool. I didn't know they had like their own marketplace to sell custom clothing, but I guess it makes sense. Sister, can you write from translation? My English is not good. I'm also writing from translation. Well, I won't be able to do it every time. You're right, but if you have a question, you can just drop it now and I'll translate it. Name of software. ZBrush. ZBrush. ZBrush is the name of software. I wanna relax. You see how the geometry gets sharper and sharper and then it's smooth here? It's because a bunch of edge loops are getting like very close together here. So what I might do is just relax it a little bit. Maybe a bit more. That's a bit too much though. Can't wait to add asymmetry to the sculpt. Let's add that Twiggy was a moon or a sickle? Yeah. Let's add that in. So the easiest way would be to append initialize a cylinder with like 4 by 4. I'll get it right. 4. And the cylinder and then initialize it. Oop. Awesome. So that will serve as the base. Now what we need is to taper it slightly. And get rid of the middle one. Maybe elongate it. Cool. Now it needs some subdivisions here so we can insert multiple edge loops at once. This should be plenty. And insert a single edge loop here and here for support. Now, how would I make that thing? And set up polygon. I understand little of what you call sister. Do you have a tutorial online class or link to ZBrush Learning? I have started to research it, but I feel like with my experience in the field, I am not there yet to teach people on like professional level. I can give advice and portfolio reviews, maybe something like just improving overall composition, anatomy, color theory, you know. I got those under my belt, but I don't feel confident yet to teach someone, you know, full-time. I think I need a bit more experience. I will think about it though, because quite a few people have asked me about like mentorship. But I do teach here. I teach ZBrush here, and I'm thinking of teaching Substance Painter on my own channel. Stuff like that. ZBrush software free and paid. There is a limited version of ZBrush called ZBrush Mini. That's for free. But the core software that I'm using right now, yes, it's software you have to pay for. The industry standard, and a lot of studios use it. Can you quickly show how you lock your viewport to the spotlight image to line up with the mesh, please? Sure. So last time I brought in the spotlight image, right? Just import, it appears here. Then you activate it and add it to spotlight. That's easy. And then you get your mesh when you've already you did your block out, right? You kind of line it up with what you have sculpted. With your reference, sorry. And then you hit custom on the dock. Settings, document, and then zap link properties. And dock it to the side. And here you'll have everything grayed out. But as soon as you hit one of them, it will save the camera or view, so to speak. Now every time you're out and about, you just click this one and turn on spotlight and cross-check what's going on. Okay. Sister, is there a busy that you know Turkish? I don't know what a BC is, sorry. I don't know Turkish. Yes, teach Substance Painter, please. Okay, cool. Please share your YouTube channel link. Sure. It's Layla everywhere. Oof. I usually send all the links at the end of the stream, but here it is. And while we're on topic of shameless self-blogging, I'll show you my most recent artwork that I mentioned in the beginning of the stream. Yes. So, this is my art station. Chat. Just for a minute. Yeah, so this is Zeri. I made her on this channel, well, parts of her, and then reworked her a couple of 100 times. Quite proud of her, the way she came out. Lots of not polypaint, sorry. I did the texturing in Substance. A lot of texturing went into that. Posing was made in Character Creator with Ekirig, and then finished in ZBrush. Some sculpting. Then there's a little breakdown on how I did the lighting on it. So if you wanna go check it out, go on my art station. I'll send the link to that. Well, if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, super pumped with this one. Took me a long while. If you guys haven't seen it, it's Arcane. It's the show that came out a few years ago on Netflix, and it stole my heart. It was an amazing show, and the second season is coming out this year. Thank you so much. Also, what's the hotkey for custom 2? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I never use it. I always have it on the side, and then there must be one, right? If you do find out, let me know. But I always just keep it on the side and I switch between the two. This one might actually be a better... we'll see. Okay. So let's add his beard. He has a beard, by the way. I'll add the text back in. You guys want to see the chat on the screen or not? Let me know. I'm already a subscriber. Thank you. Very cool. Thanks. How did you pose her? I posed her in Character Creator 4 with Accureg. They have good posing tools. Wow, that character looks beautiful. Thank you. Hi, how are you? Hi, Tatoon. I'm great. How are you? Arcane was and is pure art. I'm waiting season 2 with anxiety. Haha. Yeah, me too. It was pure art. Just literally pause it on any moment of the show and it's like a background for your computer, you know? It was that beautiful. Every single frame was so meticulously analyzed and like just it was just purely art. Yeah, can't wait for season 2 either. Привет, мне все-таки нужно ознакомиться с Arcane. Много кто хвалит. Очень-очень хорошее шоу. Я сама в Лигу Легенд никогда не играла, но шоу офигенное. И как бы стиль сейчас очень сильно влияет на компании по 3D. Очень много компаний хотят делать как Arcane, поэтому я себе добавила в портфель. Советую тоже что-нибудь такое запилить, если тебе интересно. Gestures, so good. Do you mean Zeri? Okay, well, I was working on the top piece and then got distracted. And how would I make that shape? So, let's imagine a ring. Also, let's hide everything but these two. This big. Now let's reconstruct a few times. And you can see where I'm going with this one. Let's delete higher. And now if I insert the loop in the middle and delete the other two, I'll get sort of what I need. Okay. Let's inflate it a little bit. Сидел, значит, проф-английский учил, а тут русская речь. Да, простите, пожалуйста. Не буду больше. Неожиданно. Да, бывает. Но вы можете задавать вопросы на русском или на английском, я не буду судить. Please share your UI configuration file and hotkey file. Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll need to find where they are because I've shared them before. You like the colors? Because my hotkey, the only hotkey I have is for my menu. That's the only hotkey I have. All the other hotkeys are built into ZBrush. I didn't change anything. So for this one, if you don't want it to be called Layla, or if you do, you might want to change it and then map it to your stylus. So currently if I hit 2 on my keyboard, it will make the menu pop up, right? And then I mapped number 2 on the keyboard to my stylus. Now every time I hit it, it activates the menu. So you'll have to like play around depending on what kind of tablet you have. You might want to play around with your settings to make it work. But yeah, sure, I'll need to track down my settings. Okay. It's sort of like this, and then delete hidden. And then double. Yeah, my power has cut off right now watching this from my mobile, and unblock me, Layla. Sorry about your power. Question: how good is ZBrush when you need to do pure hard surface models? It's good enough. I've seen lots of stuff being made with ZBrush for hard surface, up to like cars and motorcycles. It's all up to you. It's all up to you to learn the Z modeler, which can be intimidating because of how alien it is compared to other 3D software packages. Like all this. But yeah, all of it is doable. Also, if you don't want to pay for 2 separate software, just want to stay in ZBrush all the time, that's a good investment. Just to learn how to do hard surface here. I'm learning myself. Just because I was never really a hard surface artist. But on Zeri, there were quite a few pieces. I'll show you the source files. Yeah, so on her, like all of these metal things, I know it's not much, and like the gun as well, all of it was modeled in ZBrush. So all like the metal things that can be considered hard surface were made in ZBrush as well. But you see, it's doable. Can't complain. It was a pleasant experience. Ты переехала в Новую Зеландию по работе? Я переехала 6 лет назад. Я тогда еще училась. Я хотела получить диплом по 3D. Я тогда думала, что это обязательно. Не надо так. Это не обязательно. Переехала на 10 месяцев на курс в университете. Ну, в колледже больше. Получила квалификацию, и меня взяли на работу сразу же. И вот, чуть-чуть застряла тут. Сейчас ищу новую работу по ремоуту. Но да, живу тут, работаю тут. Хорошая страна. Немного, правда, далеко от всего. Святослав. Давно не выкладывал себе на арту ничего. Страх выложить говно. Что делать, чтобы это побороть? Как бы ни звучало, это выставить. Ну, или, если хочешь, можно распланировать. Например, взять, открыть свой профайл, сделать скриншот, посмотреть, залить это в Photoshop и взять свою новую работу, там, заскейлить ее и как бы прикинуть, как бы она выглядела в твоем портфолио меж всех других работ. И может у тебя какие-нибудь старые работы хуже нее, знаешь. И может их поубирать, а более новые, более хорошие добавить. И не важно, потому что знаешь, сколько у меня говняных работ? Простите мой язык. Наверное, у меня больше скрыто работ на ArtStation, чем у меня показано. У меня, наверное, скрыто работ 25, и показано только вот 10. И это нормально, потому что ты растешь со временем, и ты видишь все свои ошибки. Я через это проходит. Okay. What tablet are you currently using? It's Huion Canvas 22. I get asked that every time, and I never get tired of that question. Not that it matters, because I've used different tablets in the past. Huion Canvas is what I use currently. Good evening, this is exciting. Are you going to merge the pyramid and the half circle? Oh, exciting is a strong word. But yeah, I'm thinking on it. If I don't, if I'm being lazy, then I'll just like mush them together. Would be nice to keep the good topology though, right? Would be nice. Oof. I feel like it needs one more edge loop here. Getting there. Yes, the stool is like my modeling. Yep, just like it. I enjoy high surface modeling, but only shoes, heels. Okay, that's very specific. Are you like a clothing artist? Okay, so this curvature is not exactly precise. You can forgive me, can't you? Also, I'm sure this one isn't precise either, and we'll speed it up later once we get to high poly. Right? But in the meantime, let's just stick it in. Doesn't want to stick in. Maybe if we mirror and weld across the z-axis. That's not terrible. Let's activate the Z symmetry. Insert a loop. Let's see what it looks like smoothed. You know, guys, I don't hate it. It's interesting because in the art it's kind of like sticking into, but there is a very sharp edge, so we should be seeing part of the cylinder here, just like I'm seeing it now, which makes it look a bit ugly, I admit. But if I make it thinner, it no longer matches the concept. Oh, so I'll have to troubleshoot it somehow. That's just the joy of working with 2D concepts. Oh wow, okay. Go see Marker Plouffe for hard surface in ZBrush. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Oh, but looks very cool. Nice, thank you. Oh, thank you. Hi Layla, hi Sheriff. Рома. Дорого было обучение? Дорого. Но это из-за уровня жизни в Новой Зеландии. Ну, можешь поресерчить, посмотреть. Но я сохранила деньги, потому что пошла только на 10 месяцев, и оно дало мне диплом, который как бы узнается большинством, как бы это сказать, диплом, который достаточно хорош, чтобы быть признанным как высшим образованием. И поступила я сразу же типа на высокий курс из-за портфолио, которое для обучения предоставила. Поэтому, если есть портфолио, можно сохранить много денег и не обучаться с самого нуля. Cries in English. Why? I feel it. How can I get better at 3D art? That's a very broad question. I'd say practice, observation, and developing like artistic skills. And by artistic skills, I don't mean like ZBrush skills. These are hard skills. I mean like composition, lighting, color theory, all the boring stuff that nobody wants to learn about. Like watching lectures about it can be very beneficial, because you can be a very good ZBrush artist, but if you don't have those down, it's quite likely that your render and your composition will not be really good. What if we beveled it? Yeah, you see, it's a different silhouette. I don't like it. What if we made it thicker? And then edit and insert. It's really thick. Yeah, I don't hate it, personally. But I really don't want to connect them because it will create like a mush here. Yeah, it's a tricky one. We could try and create like some sort of area here. Split point. Now select it and flatten it. Oh, it might look really ugly. Yeah. Okay, you know guys, I don't want that. Let's just stick it in. Now merge down and unhide everything else. Rotate it. We'll deal with it later, kind of thing. And let me guess. You see how composition is... Sorry, the perspective is so different in 2D. So I would have to rotate his hat to face that way, the tip of his hat. like so. Oh no. Oh, kind of like that. Okay, when did it create this? Ah, great. Let's get rid of that. Oops, double. Oh, it's hidden. Double. That's annoying. Let me read the chat and then I'll deal with it. 1 hour late. How long will be streaming today? So for another half an hour. But always boolean keeping polygons and remesh. Yeah, true. It will still have the slip though. See, I can't get rid of it. Not currently. So what's the point of booleaning it and then data meshing it, zero meshing it? I currently don't see a point in doing that because I want to preserve good topology. Fixed it. All right. Спасибо большое за стрим, зарядился, пошел скульптить, партию подписался. Спасибо большое, Слав. Yes, I am a clothing 3D artist, never done mesh head, body and haircuts. Haircuts look super tedious. They do, until they don't. Like, there are a few ZBrush workflows that speed it up. So if you know how to model good hair, you can actually extract cards from the hair. There are a lot of like Chinese tutorials on that, if you look for them. So although it is tedious, it's someone's job to be a grooming or hair card artist, hair artist. It's a full-on position that you get paid for, and good money too. Not to say that it's someone's passion. Not to even mention that it's someone's passion. That thing on the hat is scythe. Is it? Nah, man. It looks like it, but I'd say it's more of a... I don't know, is it pronounced sickle? This thing? Well, to me it looks more like this than the scythe. Right. En español, por favor. Can't speak Spanish, sorry. It's a sickle sword. Okay. Layla, is there a specific target resolution when sculpting a character before zero meshing in subdivisions? It depends. It's up to you. Like, sometimes I keep it as low as like 1 because I need something very, very low poly. Like, for instance, for a small piece like that, I don't want to have like this many polygons, you know? I would only zero mesh it at something like this. Unless it's giving me a bad result, like ZBrush just can't get it right, sorry, zero mesher can't get it right, then I can ramp up the target polygon count, and it usually will capture the shape a bit better, obviously because you're giving it more room to kind of like spread out the polygons and allocate polygons. So it's purely up to you. I wouldn't go anything as high as that. I've never done that. My range is usually from 0.1 to like maybe 15. And be mindful that this number is only the half. If you're doing, if you're making a model with symmetry, so 13,000 is only for one half of the mesh, so it will be 26,000 altogether. I have to keep that in mind, but there is no strict constraint when it comes to just modeling, right? Моя любимая девочка, рада тебя видеть. Моя мама в чате. Привет. I get confused when to zero mesh and when to subdivide. Okay. Well, you need a good topology, or a decent topology at least. Well, like this one. I was sort of happy with it, although it could be improved a ton. It's not animation ready by any means. It's not. It's just good for sculpting. And then you subdivide. Do not subdivide Dynameshed or Sculptress Pro meshes. Do not. You'll get a crash, you won't be able to work on it because ZBrush will not be able to handle that many polygons. You should have around this many polygons on the first subdivision level, and then you subdivide and add more and more details to the sculpt, you know? Bye, good night, good night. Thanks. You're welcome. Now I follow you better 3D artist and learning more. Cool. Селя, привет, привет. Ooh. Okay, I got distracted for comments. Thank you guys for being active though. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. What should we be doing next? Let's add in his earring. Should be pretty straightforward. Actually very similar. If we had we kept the piece for the top, could have actually made it into an earring as well. Maybe we still can. Let's rotate like this, like this. Like it in. Maybe we still can mirror and weld. Okay. Okay. Yep, that could be his earring. I do feel though like it's a bit more smooth than the sickle. Do you pronounce it as sickle or cycle? No, cycle would be with an Y, right? Okay. Let's activate the symmetry. Scale it up. Maybe scale it down in profile view or front view. Okay, so that's roughly the size of it. I don't quite like the lacing though. Usually the piercings, yeah, are right in there. Maybe we can rotate it just a little more. Maybe offset it as well. Insert a couple. And then mask. It should look complete. Now we can hold down Control and drag this yellow rectangle out. It will actually create like an inflate effect. Cool. Yes, it's a bit closer to what I want it to be. Just gonna add a couple more support edges here and there. Let's see what it looks like smoothed. Okay, we'll come back to it. Now I would imagine he would have a different one on his left ear. Just to add a bit more symmetry. Love from India, thank you, Fandiarajan. I'm guessing rendering is the next stage in taking this to make this into an animation game ready model. No. Next step for game pipeline would be retopology, and then UVs, and then baking, and then texturing, and then hair cards if you want to make hair cards, and then rendering, and then compositing. So quite a few steps before that. I don't think I'll be making it into a game character. We'll see. I've been wanting to practice like game topology for a while because I primarily work in VFX and animation, so I don't get to do like game ready topology without any smoothing. I'm also from India. Love from India. Thank you. Love from India. Oh my god, so many people from India. Welcome, welcome everyone. Okay, this ear is bugging me. Like the silhouette is not right. But I've been wanting to do, and we have another 20 minutes left. So we can add these two rings just to be done with them. Now I'm noticing that the scrappy piece of leather fabric here is also split kind of like in two. So I'd have to do that as well. Oh my. And his beard. I still haven't made his beard. Okay. Append, bring, geometry, reconstruct. Weight higher. Doesn't want to, weirdly, doesn't want to do the mirror and weld. Oh well. I'm just making these rings now. Fast way I could bevel the whole thing would be group by normals to create a normal for each of the outward facing groups. I didn't capture this one, so let's manually add it. And now edge loop. Is it? Not this one. You could go to crease polygroups. Now bevel it like so. Flip it 90 degrees, scale it down. And move it into place. Yay. Love from India, Layla. Wow, so much love. Thank you guys. Yep, just trying to make it look more organic, if you will. I'll fix it later. Oh no. When did it create this one? Delete hidden. Yeah, there are not enough polygons here, eh? Insert. And insert. Now we'll try and rotate it again. Cool. Quite happy with that. So many people watching me. Welcome, silent viewers. How's everyone doing? Is anybody sculpting with me? Or working on something of their own? Okay, I think we have just enough time to block out his beard. Let's get the freehand masking tool. I reckon one by one I'll start to add like these clumps. Weird, I guess. Oh, let's save. What focal length do you usually go for characters? In ZBrush, I stick to like 50, 60, not 6. And I do the same for portraits in the software. Well, I render out characters from Maya currently, but in any software that I would render it out of, I'll choose 50 to 60 for portraits, and then maybe less than that, maybe 35 for like a full body. Thinking of playing FIFA 24 now. Oh, sculpting along, but I'm deep in the valley of the sun. It's okay. I've been there too. I'm there. Every project I start, I'm in there for a while. You ever see me start a new project here on ZBrush Live and then check on it 5 streams later? Oh boy. The model at the start looks so cursed. Okay. Let's extract that masking that I did. Accept. Hey, he's got like a extra chin now. Now, what can we do with it? We could dynamesh it. Cool. Now let's take out old trusty trim dynamic and start chipping away at it. Stroke by stroke. Trying to create similar silhouette to that of what he has on the concept. Take out the move brush with some Echo curve. Ooh. Snake hook can be also very helpful here. Trying to keep it simple. So that's roughly the shape that I need, and then we'll refine it later. Now, what else has he got? Another block up here. Around here. Maybe less. Thanks, you're welcome. Want to know more about the focal length and the impact of the sculpt? First time hearing about it, actually. Well, you know how photographers have different focal lengths on cameras? If you don't, Google it. Just focal length difference, and you'll get like a GIF. I'm sure of it. Yeah. A GIF would be nice. Just to see it. Yeah, here you go. I think that's the one. So, what you see happening is the focal length changing from a small one to the large one. The smaller the focal length, the more kind of like the less flat your face is or your figure of interest is. Basically, your whole face kind of like, how would I explain the focal length? Basically your image has more depth, I guess. That it makes it look that the nose and the eyes and like the hair are all on different perspective planes, or like different depth of the planes, and the larger your focal length becomes, the flatter and the more, yeah, the flatter your image gets. I'm not a camera person, nor do I know much about it. But, and in technical terms, it's probably something else differently. Maybe someone is a photographer who's in the chat who can explain it better. But basically it defines on what your character looks like. And I always sculpt with the perspective on, unless I need to make a masking. Then I turn it off. And in the draw you can control your character, you see? So that's 18. That's way too low. I would never really sculpt in this perspective. In this focal length. 24 is better, 28, 35, 50, and now sculpting at 60. And that's my preferred focal length for portraits. And for, I think, photographers also use wider lens for portraits as well. Okay, Nasilins Vista. Hi again. Hi, short motion. How are you, sister? Good, thank you. This is like taking the depth from the back and bringing it to the front to make a flat image or something like that, I guess. Yeah, I need to read up on it in order to be able to explain it better. But basically, you need to understand that certain focal lengths work for portraits and certain focal lengths work for different kind of shots, you know, faraway shots and stuff like that. Okay, extract, accept, Dynamesh, and dynamic. Let's turn on backface mask and pull it down. Now it's more of one clump. So what I'm gonna do is kind of like pull everything together. And that's why I love ZBrush. It's just the feeling of like I'm working with plasticine or clay. It's just so free. And I love Dynamesh. I know there's so many cool new features now, like Sculptures Pro and whatnot. But I love my Dynamesh. Old, good, reliable Dynamesh. I feel like in my late years, I'll still be sculpting and streaming, and I'll still say that Dynamesh was the best feature introduced into ZBrush. Would that be a thing to watch? A veteran 3D artist, old lady, sculpting in ZBrush? Surely there will be an audience for that, right? Okay, so that's kind of like a base block out for beard. Maybe I'll turn on the sculptures just for a few flyaway hairs, like in the middle. And then a mesh in. Yeah, something like that. Cool. I have office tomorrow. Good night, Layla. Thank you for sticking around. I'm actually gonna end the stream very soon, so we almost made it to the end. Harsh is asking, what type of character should I make as a dragon master? What do you mean? You're the dragon master, or the character should be a dragon master? Can make Daenerys from Game of Thrones. Or someone who looks like her, inspired by her. It doesn't have to be exact copy. Oh no. Ooh. What do you say, guys? We throw on some poly paint real quick? Let's save. Sure, I like you as a 3D modeler. Thank you. What are the two brushes to the right of the Z modeler? Two brushes to the right of Z modeler. Oh yeah, they actually duplicated. I should get rid of one. It's just a thing that I was about to use right now. So let's switch to ZBrush Paint or Skin Shade. They're very similar. That's just a custom matte cap that I use. So these brushes are just poly paint brushes. It's a standard brush, BST. And then with the Z add turned off and RGB turned on. Let's fill it in. So right now I'm just color picking stuff. Trying not to pick from like the highest peaks of colors, you know, not like highlights. Okay, pink, white, brown. Cool. Now let's quickly saw this trick from one of the streamers, Ola Anufrieva. Some of my Russian viewers might know her. Very talented artist. Kind of like, oh no. So you drag on the mask from the top, with the back face mask turned on. You kind of get these cool shadows, highlights. It's kind of what he's got going on here. Ooh, wow. Very sharp. Maybe we'll smooth it out a little bit. You can always check it by going to flat color. So let's set the intensity to something like 22. Now I'm gonna remove the poly paint from the mouth. Okay, that's not too bad. Deeper paint. Got some purple eyelids. This gradient going on here. Mouth. Towards the ear as well. I just want a cool character to look with a dragon as his pet. Well, I'm not a concept artist on the fly, so I can't tell you which character you should make. I can recommend that you get PureRef. It's the software for references that I'm using. Almost everyone is using. And then just bring the images that you like from Pinterest or ArtStation for reference purposes only. Do not like use them and like don't post them on your profile. And yeah, use it as reference, as inspiration. Maybe try and do some concepting by yourself. Dragon Tamer, did you say? Or was it? I don't remember. Dragon Master. Yeah, it can be anything. It can be a man or a woman. Male or female character. Really anything. Anything your heart desires. But I can't tell you which you should make, you know? It's all up to you. Because at the end of the day, when you get hired and let's say you land an interview, and you're with the recruiter and they are particularly interested in that one piece that you made of the Dragon Master, and they're like, tell us a little bit about it. You're like, oh, actually, Layla came up with an idea. No. It doesn't make sense. It's your personal piece. It should be yours. I always like to put a little bit of shadow in the nostrils. And this is some quick poly paint thrown on there. I'd still like to work some more on the character, as in like the sculpt. Still a long way to go, but hey, we did add all the necessary elements today. Quite happy with that. Didn't do as much organic sculpting as I wanted to, but hey, still had fun. How does the material used to affect the production ready sculpt? Wanna know more about it? Affect the production ready sculpt? Well, not much. but I usually just use two materials, basic material and zebra paint. I use this one for presentations sometimes, or like to show off the poly paint, and it just looks nicer. It's got less shadows. But this one is better for just showing off your sculpt because it's more contrasty. Some artists will sell their own materials, which is fair enough. If you like them, you can buy them. They usually cost around like $2-3. Yeah, I wouldn't say it affects the production so much as it affects the approval by well, your superior designer, artist, creative director, client, whoever. Just certain materials should not be used, like this one. Guys, if you're using this, please stop. It should be a resolution for 2024. Only use this material. This material is more of a joke. I don't know why ZBrush still keeps it, because no one really works on it. No one that I know. Okay, with that being said, the Instagram page so cute. I followed. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for asking questions. For Harsh specifically, about your dragon and the pet, as the pet. Yeah, try making a board of characters that you like and point out, like circle around the pieces that you like let's say this character's got cool heels, or this character's got a cool crown or armor, and this one's got cool face. Just compile it up, and then if you have 2D skills, then you could draw your own concept. Otherwise, you could just do it straight in 3D. It's also an option. Or find the concept that you like and then contact the 2D artist and ask them for permission to use it in your sculpt. They will often say yes. I love Madcap Grey Man. Yeah, that's good. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you can follow me on ArtStation, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn if you want to connect. And now I have the Telegram channel where I post updates when I go live here, so you don't miss it. I wonder if I can send it in the chat. Just a second. Спасибо за стрим. Всегда пожалуйста. Where do you work? Are you affiliated with a company or freelance? Whoa. Last question. I work for a company here in New Zealand, yes. If you want to find out which one, I mean, I don't hide it, it's on my LinkedIn. Here is my Telegram link. I just sent it in the chat. If you guys are on Telegram, we've got a small community there. Okay, and with that being said, thank you guys so much for sticking around with me. I gotta go to work. I might work on this guy a little more in my spare time. And until the next time, bye bye.